Hi guys, I thought I'd do a video while the inspectors are wrapping up. We've been here for probably an hour and 45 minutes or so. They're just coming down out of the attic and then they still have to go into the crawl space under the house. So I was just going to walk around, take another video, and you know, you might see something in this one you didn't see in the last one or something like that. The inspection's going very well. They, of course, always find stuff, and I would say at this point the most significant thing we found was an old leak under the sink that caused some discoloration in the inside of the sink cabinet in the kitchen over there. And around the bottoms of the balusters on the deck, which are wood, the bottoms of them are eroded away a little bit, which is normal for the age. There'll be pictures of that in the report. And then the other thing is these folks like animals. I like animals, but they are into squirrels, and they have they put out peanuts for them. And there's a basket of peanuts right there, and there's peanut debris on the porch. Nothing wrong with that, aside from the fact that we're a little bit concerned about rodents. So the inspector will look, he's planning to kind of look extra hard when he gets under the house just to make sure that that hasn't attracted any problems. But that's like the most significant stuff there, you know, and he inspects the house as if it was a brand new house, and obviously it's not a new house. So there will be lots of little items on the report. But so far we've found nothing fatal, if you will. I know up in the attic, I stuck my head up there a minute ago. He said that there was a gap, in the siding between the chimney and the chimney chase in the attic itself. So that'll, you know, you put a board up to repair that. And I guess the bath fan doesn't have a dedicated vent out the roof. It's venting out of a vent that was designed just for normal aspiration of the home, if you will. So we'll probably be asking them to put that on a dedicated vent. But anyhow. So the water heater's in here. It is no more than a year or two old. It looks to be about brand new. You can see the fittings and everything up here are all brand new. The furnace is right here around the corner. It looks like it was put in 2014. And I am sure that the inspector is going to recommend that the filter be replaced. That's on pretty much every report that he does. So. And heading back in, I'm going to go ahead and head upstairs. Everything was kosher in the bathroom down here, no moisture detected. And the inspector uses, he has an IR scope that he uses to look for heat loss and ducts that aren't ducting the heat properly and that sort of thing. And then they also use electronic moisture meters to test for moisture under toilets and around sinks and that sort of stuff. So very thorough in that respect. He also takes the cover off the electrical panel, inspects that. That will be in the report, along with pictures. And I think there was an issue there. I think that the circuits weren't labeled, which is something we'll see how much stuff is on the report, whether we want to try to ask him for something like that or not. That's really kind of a cosmetic thing, but anyway. And then he goes around, they put a tester in every wall outlet, test every light, so on and so forth. Inevitably, they find a light or two that doesn't work, or an outlet that doesn't work, and we'll identify that. And what I typically do is just ask that all lights be working prior to closing, because you don't know. It could be a bulb, it could be a bad circuit, who knows. This wire is a low voltage wire. It looks like a phone or something. Well, it's phone wire, but what it was used for, I have no idea. But they've just brought it up here and capped it, and that could be tucked back up under the outlet. Again, I just don't really know what it is. And we can ask the question as well. I mean, when we do this inspection response, if there's something that has us confused, it's very common to say, what is this? why did you do this, that kind of thing. So anyhow, but it is a clean house. I mean, like I say, we lived 5-6 blocks from here in a house that was built at about the same time, the neighborhood right next door. And I like these older houses, and I like the way they're put together. People have talked about disposable houses for a long time, and I think I've mentioned this before, that we're starting to see what, where that was coming from. We're seeing 15 and 20-year-old houses with floors sagging because they use plywood LPI joists instead of real lumber, and things like that. And they just, these newer homes are just kind of starting to fray around the edges. Whereas homes like this that was built, with materials that were probably milled right here in Washington and so on and so forth. I mean, it's just, I don't know, people took more pride and that kind of thing. So anyway, I like this house, and I think you will too, and I think you'll like the neighborhood. Good people living here. You're probably 50% military. It's well kept. You don't see any junk cars, you don't see any junk boats, you don't see any graffiti or falling down fences. The yards are all maintained. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and walk out front. I think I took a video of the street scene before, but I'm gonna do that again. And there, our inspectors are out here. They're getting ready to go under the house. And I think they're a couple wimps. They don't need all this freaking equipment that they have on to crawl under a house. But anyway, so your immediate neighbor, he was here earlier. I wanted to go over and talk to him, but I didn't get a chance. And then these folks, their house could use a paint job, but other than that, it's well maintained. The yard is very well taken care of. This is the inspection crew and my wife. And next neighbor, again, very well maintained yard. You don't see any of the things that worry you about neighborhoods. So anyhow, so I'm gonna follow these guys over here to the crawl space. I'm probably not going to stick my head down there, but anyway. And I left my shoes in the house. Grass is dry though. And something that you're going to find here, I'll be after these people to keep watering this, but here in Washington, a lot of people don't expect this, but about this time of year it quits raining. And all these yards, if they're not watered, will be brown by the middle of June. That's just, it's normal. Probably 30-40% of people water, and the rest of them just let the yards go brown. So I know another thing. This is what I was talking about with the decay at the bottom of these things, and that's something that you might replace a couple boards. Some of them are that way, some aren't. Replace a couple boards and paint. And then I had spotted this when I initially looked at the house, and I pointed it out to the inspector. He got pictures of it, but up at the top of that chimney chase, a woodpecker has been working on it. And the fix for that is to replace that board that's outward facing with a new board and repaint it. So anyhow, and you can see what I was talking about with the peanuts. If I was selling the house, I would have told the squirrels to go on vacation for a little while. But, and I haven't gotten into this shed, and it's still locked. I'm sure it's just a box. They do have electricity coming out here, but it looks like they were bringing the electricity out with an extension cord. There's a plug down here. So they probably have a light. They've got this light on the outside, probably a light on the inside, and then beyond that, it's just a 10 by 10 foot box. So. And the garage AC, which was running when I did the first walkthrough of the house. The inspector, I don't know if he ran that or not. A lot of times he won't run a window unit like that because it's technically not part of the house. So anyhow, and we have I found a spot on the paint. So that's kind of disappointing, but that was that spot wasn't prepped right when they painted it, and it got a bubble there, and the bubble burst. So other than that, like I say, the siding on the house is cedar. I would guarantee it came from a cedar tree that was cut within 10 or 15 miles of here, probably. And this stuff lasts forever. So the siding, you know, you can immerse cedar in water and it won't rot, at least not for a long time. So the siding is great. The paint job, I would say, is an 80% paint job, meaning I've seen higher quality, but it's not too bad. So anyway, this is getting to be a long video. I'm going to end it here. The next one will be the out briefing with the inspector. And talk to you guys soon.